In this video, we will uncover your sun-moon signature code. My code is 80293-213. We are going to use my code as an example to show you how you can discover yours. This code and concept is based off of the 360-degree ecliptic path of the sun. It's all math. And of course, for reference, before people start saying this is demonic or pseudoscientific, this is based on the zodiac, 12 mathematical divisions, 360 degrees. This is an imaginary space with a few inches of wobble room for the sun and its intersection of the Earth's equator. What you're gonna need in order to find your code is 1. Your date of birth, that is the day, month, and year. Because the sun on the ecliptic path moves 1 degree every 24 hours, all we need for the exactness of that sun degree is your birthday. For those of you born on the cusp of 29 degrees to 0 of one sign, you need to actually look up your birthday on a birth chart to see if you are 29 or 0 degrees. Ain't no such thing as a Number 2, you do need to know your time of birth. I'm talking down to the minute. This exact time of birth will help you discern the exact moon degree. Unlike the sun that takes 24 hours, aka a day, to move 1 degree, every degree you'll see in a natal chart has minutes. Once that degree goes to 60 minutes, it moves a degree. It takes about 1.5 to 2 Earth time hours for the moon to transit about 60 minutes, aka 1 degree. This is actually why in the progress chart, the sun moves a degree every year and the moon moves a degree every month. So since in a given day, the moon can move through a span and range of several degrees, knowing that time of birth, even down to 5 minutes, is very crucial. Now, like I mentioned before, if you don't know your time of birth, it's cool. Stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll show you how you can apply a range of degrees relative to where you think your moon might be. This also applies to the sun. If for some reason you don't know what day you were born, but you at least know the month it might be, you can apply a range to that too. Now, to speed things up, I do highly recommend using a natal birth chart calculator. I personally recommend astro.com, but to each his own, whichever one accurately puts up your natal chart. You're especially gonna need this for the moon sign because you could take the day you were born and kind of round up what degree your sun might be, but accounting for, small minutes here and there, especially if you're in between a cusp, it's just much preferred to look at your natal birth chart. I say that because, for example, a hypothetical birthday of June 20th is not always going to be Cancer for some people. For some people, that might be 29 degrees Gemini, and for another, it might be 0 degrees Cancer. And even though they're going to progress and are close together, it's good to be precise. All right, let's actually get into how to use this system to discern your code. Navigating through the zodiac could be daunting, but thankfully we have 4 cardinal angles. Using these cardinal angles will save you lots of time and make this process much easier. 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and last but not least, 270 degrees. 0 degrees is going to represent 0 degrees Aries, and 359 degrees is going to represent 29 degrees Pisces. Great, so now relative to that, let's plug in the numbers. As we can see, I was born with my sun in Gemini. Even though it was in the constellation of Taurus, we do not mistake constellations and zodiac signs. Only stupid people do that. So I know that Gemini is going to be in between 0 and 90 degrees. It's in between Aries and Cancer. In fact, specifically, the Gemini range is going to be 60 to 90 degrees. That being said, if we apply 20 degrees Gemini, that's going to be 60, 0 degrees Gemini, 70, 10 degrees Gemini, 80 degrees, 20 degrees Gemini. Next, we see that my moon is 23 degrees Capricorn based on a 3:57 a.m. birth in Phoenix, Arizona. We know Capricorn is going to represent 270 degrees. So let's do the math. Capricorn is 270 plus 10 degrees Capricorn, which is going to be 280, plus 20 degrees Capricorn, which will be 290, 23 would be 293. So now we have the sun and the moon code, 80, 293. It's time to discern the signature. The sun-moon signature is a concept that I'm going to write books on, as well as produce several videos to explain each and every single type of sun-moon signature. However, for the purpose of this video, I will explain how to actually discern what number code it is for you. There are various ways to go about this, but don't worry, I got a hack if you need to save time. I know personally that Capricorn is 8 signs or 8 houses away from Gemini. That would be the Scorpio signature. Scorpio is 210 degrees. So I know 20 degrees from 20 degrees Capricorn is going to be 210. I just add 3, that's 230. But some of you may not have in your head memorized what each phase angle is, and that's cool. Here's a hack. We know that my sun is 20 degrees Gemini, that's 80 degrees. We know my moon is 23 degrees Capricorn, that's 293 degrees. The sun-moon signature is based on the moon degree and how many degrees the moon is away from the sun. When analyzing any transits, the faster moving point is the point that we base the angle off of. For example, Mercury moves faster than Jupiter and Saturn. So if we were going to calculate the angle between both, we would look at how far Mercury is away from these planets. That being said, if the moon degree is higher than the sun degree, all you have to do is subtract it. In this case, 293 of the moon minus 80 of the sun is going to equal, you guessed it, 213 degrees. Signature, baby. If the sun degree is higher than the moon degree, you're still going to subtract. In fact, regardless of if the moon or sun is higher, you're going to take the higher number and you're going to subtract it by the lower number. Should the sun be a higher degree number, which means your sun is in the sign after your moon, you're going to subtract the moon from the sun's degree. But unlike where the moon is higher and you just take that number, you're going to take 360 and you're going to subtract by that number that you got. So let's take 0 degrees Pisces sun and then 0 degrees Pisces moon. Unlike in my case where the moon is at a higher level than the sun, in this case, the Pisces sun is at a higher level than the Aries moon. 0 degrees Pisces, which is 330 degrees, and then 0 degrees Aries, which is 0 degrees. If we subtract 0 by 330, we get 330. However, if we take 360 and subtract that by 330, we get 30. And as you'll see, that 0 degrees Aries makes a 30-degree signature from the 0 degrees Pisces sun. And there you have it. You now know how to determine your sun-moon signature code. If you don't know your time of birth, but you at least know your birthday, we can still use this formula. Your day, month, and year will most definitely give you the degree of your sun, which is a good place to start. Natal charts that don't have a determined time of birth give a range of the moon sign. So, relative to that range, let's say your moon is somewhere in between Scorpio. You know that the range of your moon is going to be anywhere from 210 to 240 degrees. If it's maybe in between Libra or Scorpio, you'll know it will be anywhere in between maybe the late 190 to 200 to the early 210, 220, and you'll be able to know based on counting each. Knowing the sun-moon signature is really key because it'll let you know the quality of someone who might have a similar moon sign to you, but with a different sun sign. And please, have fun with this. This is barely just the tip of the iceberg, and comment down your sun-moon signature code below. Peace out.